Hey, Drybear here. Let's talk about the new Guardian event that we got added to Lost Ark Western release. This is a very awesome opportunity, not only to experience multiple Guardians at once in a very safe environment, as well as to get crazy damage numbers on your screen, and a way to get awesome amounts of honing materials. So if you didn't know, there was a bit of a frustration going on about the amount of content that gives farmable materials, and honestly, eye level 1355 to 1370 is probably the worst the game will ever be, mainly because when we got the Western release, we don't have as many activities that allow us to farm honing materials. So the honing material requirements for getting to 1370 was tough. So in the most recent update, which I have notes on my channel if you want to go check those out, they added in a whole bunch of stuff. Not only did they add more honing materials to the Grand Prix, but they also added in a free gift and this Guardian raid event. So let's talk about today how to farm this, what you can get, and what the tricks are, because at first it seems chaotic when you have 3 Guardians in one area, but there's actually some really cool buffs and tricks that make it super fun and very fast to farm. But first, if you have any questions or comments for me, you'll find me live every day on twitch.tv/Drybear. Who knows, I might even be streaming right now. So let's get started. The first thing you'll notice is right next to the Guardian Raid banner in every major city that has one, there's now an event Guardian Raid statue standing next to it in some way, and you'll be able to click on this. Now, every character once per day, this is not per roster like the Grand Prix, this is once per day per character, you can enter into this and you'll face off on the map. I'm sure this is going to cycle. Today we have Frostblade Invader Nakrasina, we have Virtus and Frost Helgaia all at once on the Frost map, and I'm sure this is going to scale all kinds of different Guardian mixtures together. But you'll go in and you'll have 20 minutes to kill all 3 Guardians. If you don't kill them in time, you will fail and not get the Warlord Bennett, which is the Winter Illusion token. When you get these Winter Illusion tokens, you will take them to the exchange Winter Illusion token vendor that's standing near the event statue, and you'll open this up to find a whole bunch of these metallurgy, tailoring, these design books that allow you to get very high success chance on items, as well as tier 3 gems, which helps gear out your character significantly, and a ton of honing materials that you can buy with these Winter Illusion tokens. You can buy these and get tons of like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 materials. And you can do this once per day per character, and the minimum eye level is eye level 250. So as long as you've hit Vern, even before you get your item level 302, you'll be able to do this. Now, when you get in, you will have 3 Guardians on the map. In the top left, you can see that there are 3 Guardians listed. You'll have 6 revives, and you have 20 minutes to kill all 3 Guardians, which honestly seems like a very tall task, except there's a nice little catch, and I think they're doing this to help people learn how Guardians work. Today, let's talk about how to solve today's puzzle, which is Nakrasina, Frostblade Nakrasina, Virtus, and Frost Helgaia. You have to kill all 3. However, if you knock down Frostblade Nakrasina and break his tail, you need to have weak point abilities that you use to break his tail. Every time you do this, you will get a massive damage buff. I think it's like 800% attack power, like 40% attack speed and move speed, and cooldown reduction. You see the tail goes down, you use your weak point abilities on it, and if you break it, you'll get a buff. And this is stackable, and his tail regrows. So it's kind of like this gimmick that's teaching you how to deal with Nakrasina, who honestly is one of the worst monsters to fight if you don't break his tail. If you do, he's kind of like a puppy dog. He's a lot easier to deal with. So you break it, you get this huge buff, and you'll see on screen these numbers just getting higher and higher. This stacks up to 3 times. So all you have to do is go in, and honestly, I wouldn't even fight Virtus. I wouldn't even fight Frost Helgaia. Go find Nakrasina, knock him down, and break his tail. And the buff that you get also gives you stagger damage. So it's much easier to knock him down and stagger Virtus and stagger Frost Helgaia. And I'm sure once we have the new Guardians coming in for the new rotation, because they're going to rotate these Guardians out of the event, I'm sure, it'll be something related to the Guardians there that you'll do to get that huge buff that allow you to kill all 3. So honestly, if you try to kill all 3 Guardians all at once, like one by one, you're probably going to run out of time, because it is scaled based on your eye level. I've seen people in tier 2 and in tier 3 join these tier 1 together, so it scales your character based on the people you're with. You can solo it if you want as well. But today's solution for the puzzle is knock down Necrocina, break the tail, and once you do, you get this stacking buff up to 3, and then your damage just goes bonanza, which honestly, at first it feels weird, but then once you get the hang of it and everyone's on board with getting the buff, the event, it goes very quickly and it's very easy to burn through all the bosses. Like it's just a snap. So if you're in a group, just tell everyone how it works, you know, and just tell them to go straight for Necrocina, and you'll be able to do it in 5 to 8 minutes or so. Just break the tail, get the buff, and go. Now, when you finish, you won't have a Guardian Soul to harvest. There will be a chest in the middle of the area, lit up with this blue hue. You want to go over and collect the chest, and what comes out of it is the currency that you use to spend at the vendor. You'll get 200 for every clear per character, and it's a roster currency per day. So for however many characters you have at eye level 250 or higher, you can jump in, do the queue. If it's not consumed, it'll be white text here. It'll say it's not spent, and it'll turn red when you have used up your one time for that character. And on the weekends, so the weekend days, you'll get 300 per character per win. So if you only play on the weekends, you'll get a little bit more. Then you can just come over to this vendor, and I would honestly recommend emptying this vendor out, at least for the honing materials, every single week. This is going to reset with the Grand Prix on Thursdays or whatever your reset time frame is for your region. So you want to buy all of these. These are bound to the character that gets them, but you can just spend these tokens and then get them all done. So it's a great way. It's very time efficient. Like I said, if you're getting the buff, you can probably kill all 3 guardians in 5 to 10 minutes tops, as long as you're doing the mechanic. Pop out, spend your tokens, get on your next character and do it. One thing to keep in mind is these design books that you get, they're all time limited. They do expire in a month, so they expire at the end of April, I think on all of these, but just keep in mind that you do want to spend them within the next month, but just keep stockpiling this. This, along with the changes to the Grand Prix that brought in more tokens, as well as the free gift, is a lot of resources for you to get your characters up. So now is a great time to jump on that. Start buying out the Grand Prix every single week. You can see, just pump in here, grab everything, fill out the materials, get all these things, bunch of great stuff in here. But they're giving us an awesome opportunity to get into the game and get caught up. If you enjoyed yourself today, leave a like down below. You can support me and my work on Patreon and view Patreon exclusive content, link in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.